Yo guys, what's up? This is Cinco coming to you live on this balmy August night, August 19th, 2025, here in the great Republic of Texas. So my wife had to go babysit my nieces this weekend. My in-laws are out of town. They went to Universal, so her and her husband. So my wife said, "You know what? I'll do a nice thing. I'm gonna babysit the kids for them." So all the aunts are taking turns. So I got the house to myself. The dogs and I have the house to myself. So I was like, you know what? We're gonna do a live stream tonight, and then we will also do we'll do a couple giveaways as well, Bitcoin well giveaways. So yeah, that's what we got going on. So let me go ahead and put up. Let me see if I can get that. There we go. Sorry, I'm clicking a few settings on here, guys. Want to make sure I've got my Knots node running there and my mempool. So got that up. So tonight we're going to talk about a couple things. I'll give you some news updates from here in the workshop. Some things I've seen online related to mining, and then we're going to talk about Bitcoin mining and Bitcoin stacking from the perspective of a military veteran. I don't claim to speak for all of my fellow vets, but the ones that I associate with regularly, I would say think the way that I'm going to talk about tonight, okay? If you are a vet and you think I'm full of shit, please make sure you say so on the chat. I don't claim to be the expert on everything. I just want to make sure we're having a good time and we're being as honest as we can and just enjoy, right? So anyway, first things first, little housekeeping. My 3D printer, my bestest bud in the world that I use for making all kinds of stuff for my mods, to my Bitcoin miners, to little things around the house, presents for people, all kinds of stuff, right? I see something cool, I want to make it. I found a dragon, and I was like, oh, my wife will love that. My wife loves dragons, so I printed that out. I just got to clean it up and get all the brim off of it and the supports. But my 3D printer last night, I was printing out it was like a mega-sized Green Army man. I was printing it out for a friend who wanted it. And I have this Elegoo neon green filament. And I'm trying to get rid of the roll, like I was trying to use it up, because I don't like it. I get more fails with that than anything else. It just doesn't have good adhesion to the heat bed, and it was bothering me. So I was like, I'll use it up. So that right there, guys, if you don't 3D print, saying I'll just use it up usually means you're saying in your head, I know this is going to burn out my print head, but I'm going to do it anyway because I'm cheap. And that's what I did. I broke the cardinal rule. I knew it was not good filament, and I was like, I'll just use it up. It's not a low bottle of ketchup. It's a poor product going into a heated environment to be turned into a solid product, and then you get out what you put into it. So anyway, sitting in the living room yesterday, I had this print going. I figured it was about halfway done, so I've got a camera up on my 3D printer, so I popped it up on my phone so I didn't have to get my fat butt off the couch. And I looked, and I saw that it looked fine. I didn't see any spaghetti or anything, but I noticed that the print head was like 1.5 inches or 2 inches above where the actual printed layer was. I was like, is it stuck? And then I thought about it. I was like, oh crap, it can't be stuck. If it was stuck, it would be just spewing things out. It's clogged, and that's like, oh crap. So I come hustling my big butt into the workshop. I look at it. Yeah, it had probably been an hour since it had extruded anything. So I, turned the machine off, reset everything, and then tried to unclog the print head, but it just wouldn't unclog. So I was like, okay. I took it apart this morning. When I took it apart, guys, it was just packed solid. It was packed solid with just crud from the that bad PLA that I used. It was one solid like neon brick inside of it. So I was like, okay, and I tried to like clean it out and try to like, again, being cheap, I'm like, I'm not going to buy a whole new print head. I'm just going to clean this out and make it work again. And I started going like down a little bit, like calming down a little bit, and I was like, all right, you know what? I'm going to spend the $24 on Amazon, just buy a whole new print head. So that'll be here tomorrow, and I can turn my my 3D printer back on. So that's that little piece of housekeeping. That's, you know, a look into my life that you probably never wanted. But there it is. So what else are we going to talk about tonight? What else we're going to talk about is the S19 video I did. The exhaust side, if you guys watched that video when I made the dual exhaust flange goes down to a 4-inch, and then it can go to the dryer duct, and I can blow the heat out of my house with it. So I found that something had developed that I didn't realize when I did it, and I actually had to take that apart. And that is the way the flange was sitting, it was letting air out the sides a little bit, so it was giving it a weird vortex. So I looked, and the print had actually kind of just been warped. I didn't realize it warped a tiny little bit during printing, and it put just a tiniest little gap in one area, and it was just allowing that air to escape. It threw the whole thing off. So I'll do an update video on that as well to show that, you know, you got to make sure it is sitting flush or put a gasket on it. So other than that, I'm going to get into the meat and potatoes of everything tonight in a moment. But first, we're going to do the first drawing. We're going to do we're doing a Satch drawing like we do. Let me go over here. I'm going to switch to the live screen. So this is how this works, guys. If you've not done this before, I'm going to pop up a screen in a minute on the main desktop. You are going to see a QR code pop up. If you are in Canada or North America, you are eligible for this. Sorry, it's not my rules. It's just how it works. Bitcoinwell.com is only in Canada and the United States. So that's who's able to win this. So just please be aware. I do the other giveaways as well. We do the BitX Gammas and the Big Sat giveaways if you don't want the Gamma. I do those. Those are for everybody worldwide. But the Bitcoin Well ones right here, this is just for my folks, unfortunately, in Canada and North America. So, hope you got your phones ready. I'm going to start pulling it up. Hold on one second. Where did it go? Hold on a second, guys. It earthed up. It done earthed up. Okay. All right, here we go. Let me get rid of this. There we go. Now you can see it. Okay, guys, ready? 3, 2, 1. Coins getting tossed. Bloink. 372 sats. 372 sats. Remember, if you scan it and you get it, please let us know so we can congratulate you and we can go back to the other screen. And if you try it and it says that it's already been claimed, then please let us know in chat. JB says, my only source of income is from the VA. Still, I try to stack. I always pray for a nice dip at the first of the month. Oh, I hear you, man. Yeah, I gotta do that. You know, I was going through the VA for many years trying to get my stuff in line. I used the DAV for help. I used somebody from the American Legion that was recommended to me. The only thing I haven't done is hired that law firm out in California. That's all Marine JAG officers that now fight for guys' disability VA status, and that's the only thing I haven't tried yet. But I heard they're kind of expensive. But anyway, yeah, I kind of gave up. I just stopped. I stopped fighting it. Stopped arguing. I gave up. I had no spine for it anymore. After like 19 years of fighting them, it was just too much. And Angela says, hey man, give me your opinion on Bitcoin collateralized loans. I'm a pretty cautious guy, Angelus, and I wouldn't want to risk my most prized asset next to time on the possibility that something could happen beyond my control, and then that loan gets called, and then I lose my savings. I lose my Bitcoin. That would be my concern with it. So, in my opinion, oh, congratulations, JB. In my opinion, I don't think they're a good idea, but that's just based on my situation and not everyone's. Obviously, you know, other people might have needs or the ability to protect their finances better than others. So, but yeah, that's my feeling on that. Now, getting into the meat and potatoes of the topic, which is just a veteran's take on why veterans should be interested in Bitcoin mining and stacking sats. Again, any of you other guys that are out there, any of you other folks that are listening that are vets and you want to chime in, go ahead, type up in the stream, chime in with your opinions. I want to hear them. But I think a reason why a lot of my veteran buddies latched on to Bitcoin and really took a deep dive into it. Yeah, no problem, Angelus. I hope that made sense what I said. I think with veterans, we military veterans tend to have that survival mindset, and I don't mean necessarily survivalist. I just mean we look to things in a way of what could go wrong and how can we prevent it. Right? Now, there's other people out there, non-military vets, that do that as well, right? That's natural. But it just seems to be more prevalent with military vets. So you put a Bitcoin in front of a veteran, you explain to him why it is a great tool, he or she, why it's a great tool for survival, for your family, for you, for society, in the chance that you've got to bug out and you really don't have time to grab everything, that is still an asset for you. Whereas any cash you left at home or your credit card you left at home or what have you, that's out of touch, out of use. So, and as long as you have some type of an internet connection and a way to do it, you could trade your Bitcoin if you needed to. I think that's definitely a positive in our outlook. Military vets, we see things like that, and we say we've got to use that tool as best as we can to survive, to thrive with our family, yada yada. I think another reason is for vets, we know that, especially combat vets, at any given time it could all end. Everything we've got can end, and then what about the ones we leave behind, right? What are we leaving so that they're okay? And that's a focus as well. I think the fact that Bitcoin is super portable is also something that most veterans will like. Again, like I said, in a survival sense, something's going wrong or you're going to be somewhere else, you want to have access to an asset that you can use to trade for something you need in an emergency, right? So again, just another one of those outlooks of a veteran. We're super skeptical. Generally, we are by and large hard to impress with things because we have the attitude of we've seen worse. So, and this is veterans from any country. This isn't just the U.S. That's military veterans across the world, across the ages, kind of have that. Some common denominators. But the fact that it is super portable, in an emergency, you can use it wherever you need to, that's another focus. Skeptical, right? Coming back to where I was before I sidetracked. We are skeptical. We look at things, we think, there's something wrong with that. We're going to assume something's wrong with it as we analyze it to make sure it's safe, to make sure it's worthwhile. So that right there with Bitcoin, I think, most veterans would either look into it and latch on immediately and dig deeper, or they'll hold it at arm's length, but keep an eye on it and kind of study it on the side and observe it on the side until they get to the point that they're comfortable to say, yes, that's what that's a good asset for me, for my arsenal. Angela said, I scan with WOS, with Phoenix, with Speed, and with all of them. Oh, he got the error. Okay. Thanks for letting me know, Angelus. Yeah. So, again, I know this is kind of a rambling topic, but I just wanted to, do something a little different. We've been talking hardware and stuff the past few live streams and episodes. Excuse me, I got to hydrate. What you doing, Dougie? You okay? I got my dog Dougie over here. He's trying to figure out who I'm talking to. He thinks I'm talking to him. I'm not talking to him. Let's see here. JB says, leaving something behind is most important to me. I joined during the wars to be a field medic for the Marines. Right on, brother. Sacrifice for others is in my DNA. Yeah, and that's another topic. That's a good point. That's another trait that I think Bitcoiners and veterans, that magnetization of it is the sacrifice for others, right? A lot of people are stacking Bitcoin for themselves. That's fine. There's nothing wrong with that. Others are stacking it for their families. You know, the what am I going to leave to my kids crowd, right? That's a great thing. So that willingness to take away from now to give to later, and that later might not even be yours. It may be someone else's later. That's a big deal. Again, that's just something that, you know, it seems to be intrinsic with both communities, and especially at the overlap of those communities, right? You know, right? I stack because there's a couple reasons. I got to be honest with you. The number one reason why I mine Bitcoin is I find it enjoyable. I know that might sound crazy. It is entertaining to me. I like managing my equipment. I like keeping track of things. I like tweaking my miners. I like looking for the next new thing that's going to help it, you know, do better. And that, to me, is the top, right? That's up here. And then after that is, you know, providing for my wife and my daughter. She's an adult. She's in college. She's moved away. But I still want to have something I can leave to them. And to me, Bitcoin is the best way to do that. Texas Wasi, what's up, man? How you doing? Let's see. We'll do another giveaway in about 5 minutes. So yeah, that willingness to take of oneself, whether your finances, your you know, whatever it is, your time, your know-how, any of that, and trade it for something for someone else's future. That's a cool thing, right? That's a cool thing. But again, if you're a single person and you have no interest in leaving the Bitcoin to anyone, enjoy it while you can. That's not a bad thing either. That is really not a bad thing. To each his own, right? To each his own. So, again, just kind of talking about the different points for those that are just tuning in. We're talking about the different points that Bitcoin and being a military veteran kind of mesh. They intersect, and you can see why one attracts the other, type of thing. Okay. There is a security to Bitcoin and an education of that security, which I think a lot of people with a military mindset find enjoyable. The cryptography, the controls that are in place within the code, the stories of what happened earlier on in Bitcoin's history, all the way to that few years ago when there was the block size wars. All that stuff, you know, that's something that interests us. There's a thought process there that we enjoy to pick apart and to take things from and to just, you know, learn about. So I think that's a big one as well. Let me see here. What else we got going on over here? I'm looking at all the different chats, guys. Sorry for the dead air. There we go. I just wanted to make sure I wasn't ignoring anybody. So that was one of the things, though, I think that drew me in. That drew me into Bitcoin was when I started learning about it. The first time I started learning about it, I looked at it and I dismissed it. That was like back in 2012, 2013. A friend tried to introduce me to Bitcoin. I mined Bitcoin for 1 week in 2013. I think it was 2013, early 2013. I mined Bitcoin for 1 week. I thought it was stupid because I couldn't, you know, I didn't know what was going on, and I stopped for years. Okay, 10 years, and then the more Bitcoin has become mainstream in the sense of you now see it more in the regular news and not just the crypto news. The financial markets are all about it. Everybody's talking about it. It crosses over into so many different lifestyles. There's some really good authors out there making really good books that are introducing people to it, right? It's all over social media. That started making me pay attention to it again, and then I started reading. I was like, I want to learn about how this is made. Like, how does it happen? How does the Bitcoin happen? And I read a book, and I started learning about the cryptography of it, and it just totally pulled me in. I don't mean from like a mathematician standpoint, because that's not what it was. I'm not that great with math that I can say that I would be a cryptographer, but just the different things that I was learning about how Bitcoin secures itself. I was like, this is fantastic. It's a digital fortress for my wealth, and I get to keep it with me wherever I go, and it's in a safe place. So I was like, this is fascinating. Drew me in, right? Just drawing those parallels in my mind. Let's see, 2 more minutes. We'll do the next drawing. But yeah. Oh, and this is a 30-minute stream tonight, guys. Just so you know, we're not doing a full hour, so you'll get 2 drawings here pretty quickly. But yeah, just the cryptography alone was drawing me in, and then again learning about the history of what I missed in that between that 1 week I did it in 2012, 2013, and then when I came back to it 2 years ago. Just learning about everything that happened in between there. That's been a great draw as well. I know these are like non-financial reasons for Bitcoin, but there are a lot of non-financial benefits to it, right? So that's one of the reasons why we do it. JB says, Bitcoin is also about freedom, and I think that appeals to the patriot mindset that leads people to join the military. Absolutely. 100% agree with you, JB. That is definitely a thing. It's the idea behind Bitcoin and the freedom it espouses definitely calls out to any patriot in any country that is fighting for their country's freedom or believes in maintaining their country's freedom. That should be a no-brainer right there, right? I love my country, but I don't trust my country with my money, if that makes sense. Okay. I also wouldn't trust a toddler with a flamethrower, but that's pretty much what Congress is. So, yeah, that's absolutely true. Absolutely true. The patriot mindset, right? And, people could say that they're the most utter anarchists, all types of government and control are bad. But at the same time, there's a patriotism to that because they're probably loyal to someone or something, right? Family, friends, cause, whatever. But still the same mindset. All right, let's do those drawings. Ready? We're gonna do one coming up here. Get your scanners ready so that way you can scan the token when it pops up, the QR code. And go to the live scene so it's easier for you guys. There we go. All right, ready, guys? On 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Up to 1 million sats. One day we're going to see it pop up. I just know it. I'm waiting for it too, guys. It's hanging. It took the points, though. I can see that. There we go. It caught up. 490 sats. One day we're going to break 1,000 on this. I know it. One day. Another thing, there's a segment of people in the military, military vets, they love gadgets, they love technology, they love code, they love anything like that, anything related to that, right? Futurists. I'm one of those guys. I like that. I was an electronics technician in the Navy on submarines. And I got to tell you, I did not realize how much I missed soldering until I did it a couple weeks ago. And it was the first time I had done any soldering in like 20 years. At least 20 years. More than 20 years since I was in the Navy. So, yeah, like it was just, it's funny. Something as silly and stupid as soldering. And it made me feel good to put a couple dots of solder onto a board to put my my display, one of my displays on my Gamma. I wanted to make it permanent, so I I did some soldering. It was kind of funny. All right. Hey, you got it, nurse? Awesome. Right on, man. Right on. Okay, keep your cameras out. I'm going to do another one right now. You ready? We're going to do the last points I have before I got to get some more. So, and remember, guys, this is from bitcoinwell.com. They're the ones that sponsor this for us to do this. And if you're in Canada, North America, they are a great way to be able to get your to buy Bitcoin and have it sent directly to your cold storage before you send it to your air gapped. So great group of guys. Super easy to exchange your fiat dollars for sats. Really great company. So make sure you check them out. Bitcoinwell.com/CincoDoggos. 414 sats. I'm waiting for us to get above 1,000. Just want to get 1,000. So, all right, here's that other one. Leaving that up for a minute. So, yeah. Again, short. It's going to be a short episode tonight, just because I have got some work to do around the house while the wife's away, and I want to spend some time with my dogs because I love my dogs. But yeah, the kind of prelude to a big announcement. But this coming week, guys, I know some of y'all have been asking about this. Cinco, when are you going to give away the node, the Umbral node? On Friday, this next Friday coming up. Okay, so 6 days from now, I'll put out the giveaway details. For the node. It's going to be an Umbral node, Umbral Home node, I guess is what they call it, or Umbral Node Home. But they're currently like $399. So what we'll do is I will, when the winner is picked for that contest, I'll either contact Umbral and ask them if I can prepay so that they can get it, because that way you don't have to send me your address, or like I'll send the Sats equivalent and you can buy your node. But yeah, somebody's getting a node. Well, we'll talk about that next Friday. If I win, I'm installing Core on it just to troll you. You could run Core, just don't run anything newer than 28. That's the key. After that, you're getting in the danger zone. Yep, thanks, guys. Yeah, I see someone got it. Awesome. So, we go back over here. Go back over here. All right, so, yeah, guys. Yeah, it's pretty cool. Again, that's from BitcoinWell.com, and I know I'm like plugging them here, but they really are a good group of guys. You can go, if you check them out on Twitter, on X, and you look up their the CEO, the guy who founded the company, solid guy. He's right on X, so you get to see the guy who's in charge of that BitcoinWell.com. Conversing with people like every other normal person. They got a great crew over there. Their guy Conrad's awesome, and the first time I used them to buy Sats when I was just trying it out, I was surprised at just like how easy it was. I really enjoyed it. Like it was quick. I didn't have to do 15 different things, and I got to have it. I didn't have to put it on an exchange and then move it over to my Tangem. I just had it sent directly to my Tangem, which was very nice. So that was super handy. So again, if you're looking for a way to buy Sats, if you're new to this, or you or just looking for another avenue for getting Satoshis into your wallet, please give BitcoinWell.com a look. And if you go to BitcoinWell.com/CincoDoggos, that's kind of like my referral page. So it lets them know that like, hey, you came from Cinco. So if you do, I'd just appreciate it. But yeah, no, great guys. The more people, of course, that use their service that we refer to them, the more we get to do the giveaways. So they're super supportive guys. But yeah, so I know this was kind of a meandering short talk tonight, but again, I didn't want to be too heavy with the conversation. I can't do anything with the workbench tonight. I got to wait till my 3D printer's fixed. When I fix it tomorrow, and then I can get back to production and experimentation again. So, and then I've got my nephew's first birthday party tomorrow, so we're going to be going out for that. So just a busy weekend, so I got some stuff to do, but yeah. I really hope you guys enjoyed it. Thank you all for coming out tonight. Congratulations to the Sats winners, and yeah, I hope you guys have a good rest of your weekend, and please like, subscribe, follow, all that cool stuff, please. That helps me. Anything that I ever make on the channel, which I really don't make anything, I would turn right back into giveaways for y'all. So help me help you. But all right, guys, I'm going to call it here. We're at the 30-minute mark. This is Cinco. Thanking you all for coming out, and have a good weekend.